Unbelievable! Are you looking for a no-nonsense property and business podcast? Our mission is to provide jam-packed content straight to your ears, where we can add value and unpick the fluff in the industry. If this sounds like a bit of you, then strap in and hold tight for an episode with Heidi and Dan.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Unbelievable episode with Dan and myself, Heidi. Tonight we're going to introduce not a property person, not a property guru or anything related to property. We've got Verity Phillips on tonight with us. So Verity is one of my good friends. I've known you for a million years, I think now.
It does feel like that.
It does. And I went to school with your husband who is absolutely nuts. So that's how we know each other. So the reason we've got Verity on the podcast tonight is a little bit about mindset, really. And I'll let Verity introduce herself in a moment. But it's always property. And this is a really serious topic we're going to discuss tonight. And just give yourself a little bit of promo, really, because it's really important what you're doing. And most people just speak bullshit every day.
Very nice to meet you, Verity.
So we've got you on the podcast. So welcome to our podcast.
It's very nice to meet you, Verity.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right. Do you want
For them? It is nice to meet everybody because sometimes you don't see the other side of people. You just hear about it.
Yeah, and I'm really professional, so.
That's a Freudian
nobody
slip,
knows
though,
you because you're not a world famous property person. Neither am I, to be fair. Go into
Slumdog, yeah.
No, I'm like Slumdog. Slumdog property. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are?
Oh, where do I start?
At the beginning.
I'm 34 years old. I live in Immingham. I've got 4 children. I've got a husband.
Who is a child?
Yeah. Actually, technically, there's 6 children in the house because of the dog. And he sucks just as much as the children. And the oldest is 7 children. 7 children to my mum. So yeah, we've got a big family. Yeah, I don't know what else you want me to put in that part before I start.
I obviously know you really well, so I've got to pretend I don't know you on this. What did you do before now? What's your background in?
So I was at Bearsett Primary School. Left there, went to St Mary's Primary School. No longer there. They've turned that into... What have they turned it into? I'm not actually sure. I just know there's Nunny's Farm on there now.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really knew where I wanted to be after I left. So went to Franklin, went and did health and social care. Didn't like that, even though I passed everything. Went to Grimsby College, did catering for another 3 years. But screw that, I don't like that either.
You do?
And then, obviously, kids came along. Whilst I was in and out, I worked at... They're still there. Pool place on the corner where the job centre is.
Oh, yeah.
QL, there we go, coming to me now. Yeah, I used to work there. Met Daniel. And then decided that I needed to move. Came up to Immingham, and then that's when the job came, where I've been for the last nearly 8 years.
What did you do? Because Dan doesn't know.
I started off as, what did they call them? I was basically, when I first started, I was just like the helper, working my way around the shop. I can't remember what they used to call them. They used to call them medicines counters.
Was it like a pharmacy, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was just like learning little bits about pharmacy. And then once I did that course, that took me about 6 months. I went on to do dispenser.
Mm-hmm.
Did that. That took 2 years. A lot of hard work that was. And then to progress, I went and did my pharmacy technician. That was 2 years as well, and that was even harder. A lot of a lot of technological termination. My speech is just terrible. So yeah, literally as soon as I passed that, I had a year before I decided that I wanted to do my GPHC accreditation. So that means that by law, I'd be like a pharmacist. So if anything went wrong, I could be struck off and all that rubbish. But then COVID hit and everything went to shit. And then COVID hit a year later. I got poorly and here I am now.
Yeah. So thank you for that. So basically the people who don't, I'll put it on the title, but you've actually got cancer. And you've worked in the pharmaceutical industry for ages and then discovered you had cancer. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about symptoms? This is really important as well because
it is really important. So the type of brain cancer I've got is stage 4 glioblastoma multiforme. So it grows from cells called glial cells. So if you was to look at my tumour, you have your cyst, and then inside the cyst, it looks like there's a little octopus. You have little, and I call them tendrils, and they probably do that themselves. It has like a base, and then you have loads of little spiderly bits that come off it, which is what makes it so hard to treat and cure. So, symptom-wise, I've written some bits down because I do forget. Mainly memory loss, speech changes, personality changes, headaches. What else? There was a few other things that I can't remember, and I didn't write them ones down because they weren't as important. But they are used generally the main type. Obviously, different types of brain cancers. There's going to be a whole variety of different. But in general, I do believe that depending on where it hits, that is going to be across everybody. So it kind of started. Daniel's sister, my sister-in-law, she went off. I was obviously running the shop while she was off. So the first couple of days, let me go back. So I had 2 weeks of being poorly. The previous Christmas, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. The rheumatologist said it prescribed me pregabalin to help if obviously codeine, paracetamol wasn't helping. Got to a point where it wasn't doing anything for me at all. So at that point, after speaking to the doctor, there was nothing other than I didn't feel right. I put it down to the new medicine that I've been taking. Mm-hmm. So we decided that I was going to start lowering the dosage before I come off it. Almost put on another one for fibromyalgia. So as the symptoms started feeling poorly, we put it down to the reduction of the pregabalin.
Well, you'd never think, would you, straight away? You wouldn't go, you wouldn't ever think,
No. 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks of just being poorly, headaches, feeling sick, not being able to eat. And it was just like you would think, and I'm never poorly, I would just think, I'm never poorly. It's hit me like shit, basically. So yeah, now I come back. Sarah had started her week off. I started running the joint. I had a couple of people coming up to me. They started questioning, "Oh, are you all right?" "Yeah, no, I'm fine. Why? You're looking a bit all over the place." Well, I didn't see that. My speech was slurring, but being the person that I am, I just kept pushing, doing, and come the worst day ever. My daughter's birthday. I woke up. Sarah turned up. and the pair of them refused to allow me to go to work. I was rushed to A&E. I was left because Daniel this when it was still all COVID rules, and you want come in with me.
So take time.
I was laid on a gurney. So it might go a bit quiet sometimes while I'm remembering, and yeah.
It's all right.
I was sat there with a lady. I don't really remember. All I remember saying is, "We're rushing you to Scunthorpe." I was laid in a room waiting for the ambulance, and I was blue lighted to Scunthorpe General. Straight to the CT. No one. It was stroke unit. They had like a little teeny tiny room in the back of the hospital. So yeah, I was assessed by several different doctors. I don't really understand anything that they were saying because I was that exhausted. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I was just laid there with my eyes closed, listening to everything, and I must have been hours and hours and hours. I couldn't get up to go to the toilet. I had to have someone to help me. And then, like I say, what felt like I was finally rushed to a CT for a CT. I don't know the event, what happened then. All I know is I was told that I was being removed up onto a ward. So I was took up to a ward. I'm sure Daniel will probably tell me how many days I was there, because for him it must have felt like a lifetime. I was eventually, I don't really remember, I just know everything sort of rolled into one. Daniel and Sarah turned up. We was in a teeny tiny little cubby room with, I assume they call them matron, like the head nurse that's there on duty, with another doctor, and I don't really remember that. All I remember hearing was, "We found something, but we don't know, so you're gonna have to go to another hospital." Came home. Don't know how long I was at home for before I then went to another hospital, which was Hull Royal Infirmary. At that point, I couldn't walk. Daniel had to wheel me around the hospital. I was that vacant. I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. There's only one vivid image that I've got, is in wheeling me into the room and vaguely seeing an image, but not knowing what was going on, and just staring out into nothing. And it's Daniel that fills me in and everything, where he was told and shown that there's a cyst, but we don't know what's in the cyst. We think it might be cancer. So obviously at that point, after being started, I was on so many different medicines just to try and stop the swelling, to reduce pressure. So obviously that's when I was put on epilepsy medicines to try and stop that. Even though at that point I hadn't had anything. And I was told that I would have to go for an operation. I can't remember how long I waited, but at that point I think it was been about a week after then. So I came back home and I literally lived in bed because I couldn't get up. Daniel had to come up and make sure that I ate. So obviously, where he couldn't, he had to feed me. Couldn't talk. All I could do was sit and watch telly. I just physically couldn't move. The day it wasn't even the day. It wasn't the day. I was then taken to the Hull Royal the day before the operation, and it was 8 o'clock at night, pitch black. I was absolutely petrified. I was in a room. I didn't know anybody. Didn't see anything. It was pitch black. So day after first surgery, straight down. I was there for hours and hours and hours. Came back onto the intensive care unit I had a special room. And all I remember is the most excruciating pain. And that must have felt like probably wasn't, but it was raining. I could hear it. I could hear it going against the windows. And so, yeah, when I was finally back on the normal ward, I was there up until the Sunday. During that point, the neurosurgeon came to see me and said that the surgery had gone well. At that point, I thought in my head, it always removed it. It's fine. I'm going to be all right. Everything's going to be fine. I don't have to worry anymore. And I was just told, let's just wait. We're taking a sample, as they call it, histology. We'll be in touch with you. And it was probably a week and a half. Within that week and a half, I had a couple of what they called seizures. I personally don't, but obviously I'm not a doctor, so I can't say that that's not what it is. Yeah, they rang up and said, right, you've got an appointment where you need to go. Turned up at the appointment, ushered into a room, and all I saw was a lady with a purple pack. They went through the surgery, how well it was, and my world came crashing down.
But so you said your world came crashing down, Larry. Do you want to explain a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, so I walked into the room, and the first thing I saw was a lady. She had a purple file. Sat down, and he sat there. The neurosurgeon, it was the same person that did my surgery. He went through that the surgery was well, but I'm afraid to say after the biopsy, it is cancer. It is brain cancer. Went through, well, this is what it is. I think at that point I started fading out. I just couldn't. And to be fair, to this day, I still don't believe that it was malignant. But unfortunately, it is. Yeah, the world crashed. It must have felt like hours sat there crying, wondering how you're going to tell people.
Bless you. It's a big fucking thing to hear at like. How old was you how long have you had it now for?
Since last February. So I'm now at the 20-month mark. So to be honest, I am very grateful, because for most people, life expectancy for anyone that's diagnosed with glioblastoma is 12 to 18 months.
Wow. So you've done amazing. And
yeah.
What I take from what you've said so far, though, is, going back to when you did a job, you didn't like it, you changed jobs, you trained, you carried on, like, you're resilient.
And now they're the ones that are looking after me rather than me looking after other people.
And you're a fighter, you're resilient. You go out and get what you want, and you never told no. So you're fighting this with the same approach that you've, held your whole life. So I can only say I respect you in that, and I'm so sorry to hear this, the sad news.
There was someone that's worse than me. That's the way I see it.
This is why I brought you on the podcast, because like I've had a shitty day today at work, and actually the stuff I've been doing is absolute bollocks, trivial shit. People are moaning about breadcrumbs. That's the level of shite they're moaning about. And I thought, can't wait to speak to you, because you just put shit into perspective. Like, I really wish I could just slap people sometimes and go, fucking shut up. I genuinely think of you daily.
Sorry, I've got a child entering the room.
Oh,
we'll stop the swearing.
You say hello.
Hello.
Hi,
hello.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Go on, mister.
I read a book to you.
You can in a bit, yeah.
You can come on my next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like for you, I genuinely think about you every day, like without sounding creepy as fuck. But like fucking Verity is absolutely nailing the shit out of life. And you will comment on my posts and go, "Oh, I'm really proud of you. You're such an inspiration." And I'm like, Get a grip.
Yeah, you're the
Well, no,
inspiration.
because you've had your own troubles, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Like everyone has them. I think it's just how you approach them and how you act on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
My question to that then is, how do you approach every day, and how do you approach your day, and how do you wake up and go?
I'm gonna shut up because he'll start crying if he hears me crying. It's the hardest thing ever because I know it's terminal. I know I'm going to die, and I have come to terms with it. But I do have days where it really does. I wake up and all I do is fall. I don't want to die. Who does?
Of course.
But I know it's one of those. I wake up every day, and that's the first thing. Is today going to be the day? But I have to think. All everyone says is, "You're looking well. You're doing good. Keep going." And that's what keeps. What is it? Spurring me on. Is that the saying? I can't remember what the saying is. I can see it. I can hear it, but I can't say it. But yeah, that's the way I get through every day. I wake up, think today could be the day. No, it's not going to be today.
Do you also think as well when you wake up, you think, I'm still here today, so I'm going to absolutely smash it today?
I every day I wake up humble and grateful. Yes, I do sit there and think, oh, today could be the day. But then I think, I've woke up. There's somebody that might not. There might be someone at the same time I open my eyes that close their eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got four kids to fight for. Yes, it will happen, but at the moment I'm really well.
You are.
That's the way I have to see it, because there will be someone who is a lot. I mean, they've probably got the same cancer as me, and they could be in a much worse situation. I have to take every day as it is.
That's why mindset's so important, because I think like what my dad died and he lasted 6 years extra than he should have done.
That's
because
it.
Woke up shit out of every day. Just tell Dan what you're doing in October, because it's fucking ridiculous.
So I've done quite a few. So obviously at the beginning of the year I've done one for the brain tumour charity, but currently what my challenge is for cancer research to walk 100 miles in October.
Bloody hell.
Obviously to raise funding, because as lovely as this area is, not many people are interested when it comes to like brain tumour, cancer, etc. Whereas when it comes to cancer research in Macmillan, go away, you mister. It's I think it's one of a couple of those charities that touch everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's needed that help from those people. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing throughout October, and I'm in the process of looking what I want to do next month, whether it's with them or with someone different. I'm just not quite sure at the moment.
How far have you done so far?
Do you want to guess?
What are we on? We're on the
I'm going to try and
19th.
do something.
So I'll give you two answers. I'll either pro-rata it and you'll be 60 odd miles, or you've just done 0 and you're going to smash it at the end.
It hasn't logged today's ones. Just over 97 miles.
Wow. So you're almost hit the target. So what you're really doing is 200.
I'm going to attempt. I've got 12 days left.
Wow.
So you're smashing that left.
Heidi, what you should do is you should go do a long walk and support and record it.
Well, I am, because Verity texted me the other day saying, I've just walked past yours on the Humber Bridge. I've never walked on the Humber Bridge. That's terrifying for me.
It's a good one. That's a nice one, that one.
Yeah.
I've done a video on it.
Yeah. Well, she said, you should have, and I was still in my job when she texted me. And actually, I've left my job now, which you know. So let me know a date you're free.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I'll be back down that way next week, because I've got my hospital appointment.
Excellent. So we'll do a walk I will join you on the what will be proclaimers together and walk 500.
Hey, we'll have everybody because I'm not allowed to drive now, so
Don't walk from a million.
Daniel will have to ferry me around everywhere.
Wait, Mum was.
And the children might be there as well, so.
I'm
We're
tough.
walking. Yes.
Go
Can I
on.
bring my scooter?
Sorry, he just can't leave.
That's
all right.
fine. We'll get the job. It's fine. They can do all the technical notes.
Yeah.
So what are you doing then? Are you planning on doing a thing a month, a fundraising thing a month? What's your plan?
I'd like to try, but I don't want to be greedy. Do you know, we're in a situation where living's getting more expensive, and sometimes people just can't afford to keep donating. Do you know what I mean? And Immingham just so it's too tiny, and it's all right. It's people sharing, but then it's the people that are sharing, and then on their Facebook, people sharing. Do you know what I mean? It needs to reach wider, I think, but it's just. I think people just look over it sometimes.
Well, we'll put your fundraising thing in the show notes. So if anyone wants to donate, we're going to get this podcast out as a priority anyway to give you a maximum exposure, and then we'll put the link in the show notes anyway to get you that. But yeah, I just want to go back if you're all right with this, just because this is really important. From you feeling poorly to your diagnosis, how was that? 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's
because it's malignant. It's aggressive. It's fast growing. So I keep trying to put it out there for anyone that gets headaches, and it's not just like a normal everyday headache, a headache that doesn't go. You wake up in the morning, your eyes hurt, your head hurts, your memory loss, get checked out. I mean, yes, unfortunately, the type of brain cancer I've got, there's no way of ever being able to catch it early. However, my symptoms might save somebody else who is diagnosed early enough to be treated properly.
Yeah. And I think that, like you say, that's an important message, you know, and it's a sad situation where not all circumstances can be treated or healed. But like you say, I think you're taking a very inspirational approach to all this, that, you know, you're like, if you can help one other person, you know.
Exactly. And it is, you'd never think that anything that's serious comes from that one little situation.
Yeah.
And I'm sure other people have very similar stories to mine. It's taken one little thing for the world to be what it is.
I think, you know, you've got a fantastic mindset and approach and an outlook on absolutely everything. And I think, you know, like you say, raising awareness for this as well is key. That's why we're doing this as a, you know, talk about mindset and resilience and positive mental attitude, because, you know, like Heidi said, you know, things that happen in my life on a daily basis when I'm feeling a bit shit, it's just like nothing compares. So, you know, and I think it's important to understand that, you know, there are people out there going through serious stuff, and we have to just be grateful for everything. But at the same time, raising awareness for something so sad, but
don't need that, darling.
Trying to put a positive spin on it, if that's the right technology to use. And I'm sure Heidi agrees, but you know, I personally thank you for coming on this to be able to share your message and get that out there and have that positive outlook and approach to everything. So
thank you.
I'm going to take my hat off and top respect to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cry, so.
Stop crying. I'm the worst friend to cry now. I'm like, no, pack it in. You know, I think you're a legend, but is there anything we can do to help you? Obviously, we're going to share your cause, your fundraising link. I'm going to join you on a walk forever because I like walking now. But anything else you want to say to raise awareness, or anything we can do to help you?
It is just, if people see anything, well, it doesn't even have to be my symptoms. Anyone sees anything untoward and they're not sure, get checked out. Not just for brain cancer, but breast cancer, prostate, anything. anything out of the ordinary, just get checked out. You know, you could save yourself rather than it getting too late and all by putting it off.
Yeah. I not relevant to yours, but it is relevant in cancer general. I got my smear test letter through yesterday, and it's easy for a woman to go, oh, I'm not having that. That's really uncomfortable. And I thought, actually, 1 or 2 minutes of discomfort it could save my life. You just get on with it. So if anyone's got a smear test letter or any letter or whatever, just pack it in and go.
I'll just add to that. So I'm sure my wife won't mind me sharing this, but a few years ago she had a smear and then she had to go back and they found, I can't remember, is it level 1, 2 or 3, like level 3, and had to have treatment.
It says it all. Cancer affects everybody in one way, shape or form. Whether it's someone you've known, whether it's someone you live with, whether it's yourself. Everybody
fortunately, it wasn't at that stage, but had it been left untreated, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, like you say, you always think it never happened to me. It never happened to someone so close to me, but
I think everyone thinks they're invincible, and it's never going to happen to them. And you know, I was never poorly, and I always thought I'm going to be fine. But yet here I am now.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, keep going. You're absolutely nailing it.
You are. You're an inspiration.
You are.
I do that for everyone else that can't do that. It's the way I see it.
Exactly. It was obviously Dan's not on your Facebook, but you shared a picture not long ago about you fundraising for Macmillan Cancer, and then you shared that recently, and I was like, fucking hell, that's like an iconic picture, that, where, you know, they helped you, you're helping them, and you're still fundraising. And I'm still fundraising now. It's fucking brilliant. So if anything we can do to help you, give us a shout, and we'll definitely promote the shit out of this for you. And thank you for just being a legend.
Yeah. And I'm sure this will give a lot of people hope and strength and resilience. There is
hope. There is hope, because a few people that Daniel's spoken to, they've surpassed 20 years. And I mean, I'd be happy just to surpass to be the 2% that make 10 years, to be the 1% that make it 20 years. Yeah. So it is possible. It is possible. You know, it could be years and years and years of treatment. Do you know what? It could be years and years and more surgeries. But they're doing everything they can to make everyone's life expectancy as long as possible until there is physically nothing that they can do. Yeah. But this is why I think people raising money and donating is most important, because if people don't donate, they can't do what they're doing. Whether it's for cancer research, whether it's for Macmillan that are helping people, being there, you know, at the end of the life, whether it's for brain tumour cancer research people, you know, that's what we need. That's what everyone needs.
Yeah. Me and my dad bickered about this when he was dying. We did a 5K run. It was horrendous because we was both obese at the time. But he wanted to do it for Macmillan Cancer, and I wanted to do it for cancer research. And I said, I want to prevent it, not do it at the end. Let's prevent as more than, do you know what I mean? And we
that's it. Like I'm not bothered about me. I'm not one of those people who need to go fund me page. Do you know what I mean? It's awareness. It's raising money for all those people that are going through what they're going through, that have no one to go on, for the nurses, for the doctors, you know, for the units that are there running around after people, trying to make new drugs and new treatments, and you know, it's not about me. It's about them. I mean, last year I was too unwell to be doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
there was no way I would have ever been able to. I was on not roid rage, but I was that big from steroids.
Yeah, he's on heavy
steroids.
There
was no way I could do anything. So, yeah, I went in the right mental frame mind last year to be doing what I'm doing.
Get a kids.
I can see how supportive and appreciative your kids are. Look at them all
Oh
covered.
yeah. If I feel one tear, they're there straight away.
I've always admired you for having 4 kids also, because and Daniel, I call him Wogger, that's the child's name. But that is insane. How old are you? How old are your kids?
So this is Dexter. Dexter's 9. This is Edith. She's 10. The other 2 are downstairs. So Cameron is 12, just turned
Oscar
12.
13.
There you go. She said for me.
I do know. It's good.
Oh, that's 4 in quick succession. You are a superwoman.
I didn't expect it. I got 3 free ones.
Oh. Buy one, get one free. Buy 3, get
It was
buy one, get 3 free.
It's exactly that when contraception don't work.
I remember when you first rang me. Well, Wogger first rang me in Tesco, and you was like, "We're having a baby," and I was like, "Are you mad?" Quite young then, weren't we? And I think you always thought you was having a girl until like the day before.
Yeah. That's what we did find. When I found out, it was literally, oh no, you're 19 weeks. Oh, do you want to know what the sex is? Oh, there you go. It's a baby girl.
Oh,
It was
And
Oscar.
then Father's Day, it was like, that's not a girl, that's a
that's
boy.
That's Oscar. That's Oscar.
And hey, here he was a month later.
Wow.
Bless you. Is there anything else you wanted to add that's important to talk about, or do you think you've?
If anyone's suffering from any sort of mental effect from being diagnosed with a cancer, take it up. Take it up, because it will creep up on you if you bottle it up, or if you don't talk about it. If you don't want to see somebody, find someone to talk to, because it will eat you up. And you know, I chose not to have counsellors and psychiatrists, and because I didn't need it. Yes, I do have crap shitty days, but I know what my ending is. Whereas some people, you know, can have, you know, depending on what stage it is, where it is, whatever it is, can have a really happy, healthy life. And it doesn't have to be their end. They just, you know, get out there and talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't bottle your feelings up. Don't be alone.
Yeah, it's breaking that stigma, I guess, isn't it? And just
Yeah.
sort of pride, but it's getting me upset seeing you. I've got 2 young girls myself, so the thought of it and seeing your kids next to you.
That's the hardest.
Yeah.
It is the hardest.
Edith and Dexter want to say anything while they're famous and on camera?
Do you want to say out?
Hello.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
What do you want to say?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous.
But no, so
He's not nervous at all. He's
definitely
got the biggest gob out of all of them. Well, he never stops talking.
there's nothing wrong with that, Dexter. I was the same.
Well, Dexter and Edith, I was going to take a picture of you all at the end. You can get in the picture.
Getting in the picture then?
I've
I like
got
my
sex soon.
Well, we're not asking about that. Do you want to get in the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right, well, at the end of it then.
Mm.
Hey, look.
I want to lay down for now.
She's laid down. Get up.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for coming on and being a legend, and the kids also for featuring.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming on and obviously sharing your story. I think the key takeaways from this is, you know, you are an inspirational person, you are resilient, and like you say, it's all about raising awareness and making sure people do go out there. So for those listening to this podcast, you know, if you do have any doubt or there's someone out there, please go and support them and make sure that everyone is okay. And please share this link. Please raise as much money as you can and raise awareness for this amazing cause. So yeah, thanks Verity. Thanks, you know, for everything.
Thank you.
And coming on.
Thank you ever so much, guys, for having me on.
No worries.
Happy to have you on.
Unbelievable. Thank you for joining us this week. We hope we added value to your day. Stay tuned and see you next time for another unbelievable episode. See you next time.